This is Andres Sanchez, Neil, and Jan Martins on our very first episode of Leadership Forum. This is a new initiative for our community to get to know the leadership building behind Hathor Network. And in this case, we have the privilege of having Hathor Network CEO Jan Martins here, for those of you that may not know him yet. And we will be covering also our Q2 report, the milestones that we hit, and also we selected some questions from the community. We picked out the best ones and brought them here for Jan to answer. And without further ado, I guess we could get started. Great to have you here, Jan.
Thank you, Andres. Happy to talk to you and with the community, and let's see how the new format Leadership Forum goes. Excited.
Awesome. Our first question is one we've heard a lot about, is when Nano? No, just kidding. It's actually how do Nano contracts differ from conventional smart contracts, and will developers be able to develop their own? So it's a good question. It's interesting.
Yeah, couldn't be much different from that, and I'm sure that most of the community is very excited for this new feature. As we're also very excited for this to go live. So with a regular smart contract, what you have is you can pretty much code, you can program anything that you want on the smart contract. While that's very interesting on one hand, on the other hand, it's also complex. Like very few people can do it, and also there are a lot of security risks involved. So what we're trying to do, as with everything we do with Hathor, is trying to make it easier. So we're going to get the most used smart contract types, let's say it, because there are a few dozen smart contracts that are kind of used over and over again. And we're going to make them native on our network. So it's very easy for people to just deploy them. We're going to have what we call the blueprints. So let's say a blueprint for a liquidity pool, for a betting smart contract, Nano contract in this case. It's going to be pre-built, and people just need to configure a few parameters and deploy it. So it's fast, it's easy to use, and it's safe. It's pre-built. So I think that's the main difference. We're going to look for the most used contract types on other networks, or not just other networks, also the feedback that we get from users and from companies, and we're going to deploy them build them natively into our network to make it easier. About your second question, if other developers are going to be able to create their own, this is something we're debating. It's still not settled, to be completely honest. We are aiming towards that, but it's also a question of safety, because this is one of the main things that we have in mind with Nano contracts, right? Safety first for the users, not just the creators of the contract, but also for its users. So it's something that we're balancing, like this flexibility of having other people also create it and of safety. So to be honest, it's not an answer we already have, but certainly we're going to debate it once we're trying it out.
Absolutely, and the users are the priority, so we want to make sure everything runs smoothly and safely. And this does make use of built-in oracles and APIs, right?
Yeah, especially about oracles, it's I'd say a fundamental player in this kind of system, right? Because you want to have a contract that say like make you bets about events in the real world. We have like the World Cup coming up, and it's going to be very interesting, very cool to do betting with people about results, who's going to win the World Cup. So oracles are fundamental in this ecosystem, and we have a very pragmatic, I'd say, simple approach for oracles. And yeah, from the beginning, people are going to be able to use it, be able to select who the oracle is, and send the data into the chain. Right? So it's going to be fun.
So that people can bet on Mexico as the winner, for sure.
You need to pay a lot. Very good odds for that. Right? So,
you'll get a payday for that.
Yeah, to move on to question number two, and this is following on from Nano contracts when Nano, I love saying Nano by the way, but the question is now that testnet is live, what is the process that follows to go fully live with Nano contracts?
Yeah, so what we have right now, we have an internal test net where we have Nano conflicts running. There's still a lot of things to do with it, to be honest, but we're trying to get it to testing as soon as possible. And while we tested, we continue our internal testing. The next stage is also inviting a few partners for a private testnet with Nano conflicts. So I think it was back in May, we released a forum where interested parties could apply, and so we're starting discussions with them to onboard them to this private testnet. But I think the important thing here to notice is that, as I just said before on the previous question, is we are concerned for our priority is user safety, like the system safety. So we're going to release it. It's gonna take as long as it takes, for it to be live. We're going to deploy it we feel it's safe, right? So I think this is the important message here. We don't want to rush it. We're going to deploy it whenever we've tested it a lot under very different conditions with lots of different partners. So this is kind of like the next steps moving forward. Lots and lots of testing, and I'm sure that it's never going to stop, right? Not just the testing, but developing new features for smart contracts, for nano contracts. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Like as you mentioned, security first, and brick by brick, we'll get there. So yeah, sounds exciting.
Everyone's excited to see it. So the community is getting used to getting to know nano contracts on a conceptual level. But one of the questions they brought up is, will we showcase nano contracts in a visual form so the community can understand it more thoroughly? If so,
Yeah, well, they're going to be able to interact with it very easily, as with everything we do, like token creation, which is very easy for anyone to do, and not just regular tokens, but also NFTs. You can do it straight from your wallet. Anyone can do it, right? It's super simple, like 1 minute and it's done. With nano contracts, we want to have a similar approach, so people are going to be able to use it to interact with them directly from their wallets in a simple way. Obviously, we expect use cases should develop more complex and more rich experiences by leveraging their like APIs and all of that. But everyone's going to be able to interact with nano contracts in an easy form through the wallet. That's the first thing. Second thing about displaying more visually, I think it's not just about nano contracts. I think it's blockchain in general, right? Blockchain is not a simple technology. A lot of people don't fully grasp, the concepts, and that's an important thing for us to explain. So not just with Nano, but like the whole blockchain, the features, how Hathor is different, why our technology, why we think it's best than others, specifically for some use cases. This is something that we're going to be working on moving forward with our marketing team on how to better explain those concepts more easily to our community and partners and clients. So not just Nano, yeah, with the whole blockchain terminology and concepts, we're going to be working on guides and visual materials to better explain it.
that's awesome. And we received a lot of positive feedback from some of the builders about our Git book as well. So it explains things very simply. So,
Yeah,
obviously,
and straight to the point, right? I think sometimes you just need a guy like step by step, and just do this, that, and that's what the good book does.
so eventually we'll have some assets for the community to look at to understand nano contracts on a more broken down level.
Yeah, I think part of the like the release cycle is also educating the community, right? So it's going to be important part of it because it's no use if you release something and people don't know how to do, like how to use it. So definitely education about nano contracts and the whole blockchain, because I feel that a lot of people are already familiar with it, but even people that have been dealing with blockchain for a while, sometimes there are concepts that they're still lacking and are somewhat hard to understand. So yeah, we're gonna work on that.
That's right, everyone. Our first responsibility as part of the entire crypto community is to educate. So, first and foremost, thanks for that answer, Jan.
And yeah, thanks for that, Jan. And as we all know that this was based on the Q2 report, so a lot of questions were around nanos, and we're going to move on from that now. Thanks for covering that, Jan. The next one is a really good one. Question number 4 was: are there plans to open up the grant program again, and how do you plan on attracting developers?
Yeah, sure. About the grants program, it's something that we feel is important to attract developer use cases, very interesting projects to the network. We feel what we can do best right now is develop a better grants program where it's aligned with what we think Hathor Network can offer best. And in that sense, the rate of success for projects are going to be higher. So it's not like we're just going to open it and kind of any project, well, obviously any project can apply, but we want to attract the right types of projects that feel are good fit for the network. And yeah, and I think that's the best way that we can structure a grants program so we can better support them and the rate of success is going to be higher. And I think that's an important thing we do as a company, the best thing we can do for a community, right? So we are very cautious and very conservative on how to spend the funds. So I think kind of this is the best response, like the best way we care about our community by being very zealous and careful about how we spend the funds. The other question also about developers, I think the education that we were mentioning is a big part of it. And a lot of questions sometimes people ask me like, how are we going to steal developers from Ethereum? That's not what we're trying to do, right? Obviously, there are very talented developers there, but it's still a niche. It's still a small group, and if we're trying to just like steal developers from them, it's very hard. They're highly paid. They're already well established. So for us, by making blockchain made easy, what we're trying to do is to actually onboard all the other developers who currently can't program on blockchains, who are not like Web3 developers. We want to onboard them into Web3, like developing the Hathor. So if you are a good developer, but you haven't touched blockchain, like you can use Hathor. Obviously, you have to study. It's not like you're just 1 hour become an expert, but you can more easily start developing and interacting with the blockchain. So this is for us our plan for attracting developers to Hathor. We're not competing for highly skilled, like very difficult, a small group of developers. There are a lot of developers in the world, not as many as we'd like, but it's a big group, and we want to attract those to develop on the network.
And the grant program is a big part of that as well. Awesome, that was a great response. So we've been hearing this discussion a lot in Hathor about NFTs becoming simpler to mint and to transact. But people also want to know how the royalty part of NFTs on Hathor Network differs from other chains.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned, right, Hathor is a very good network for NFTs. I think since we kind of displayed this feature about just over 1 year ago, I think it was in May last year, we had over 120,000 NFTs created right now. We had this on Twitter the other day.
120,000.
Yeah, and every time I checked Explorer, the token list, there are new NFTs being created. So it's amazing to see how easy it is, and people actually making use of this feature. So Hathor Network is already a very good network for you to create, deploy for creators. And with royalties, it's important because a lot of the use cases we talk to, they always ask this question, like, as a creator, can I get royalties on future sales? And that's why we released the NFT metadata standard. We actually updated it. We had the first standard when we first launched last year. Now we kind of updated it with feedback from the community and from use cases and creators. So on secondary sales, people are going to be able to actually receive those royalties. And it's important to notice here that it's not like a built-in feature from the network. The royalties are usually handled off-chain, and it's for us. It was important to have the standard and to communicate with all the players from our ecosystem, so they adopt the standard and abide by it. And by making this very early on, as the network grows, people are going to be incentivized to follow the standards, and this is going to attract more and more creators. So it's a matter of having the standard and making sure most people in the network adopt it. I think that's the important part, because it's already easy to create NFTs on Hathor, but having this other feature, having royalties respected. Let's say if everyone pays the royalties, because this needs to be paid by the marketplaces and the websites that makes the sale. We create more value for our creators.
That's absolutely positive. It's not just making it better for the users, but for the creators themselves as well. So adding that pillar to making NFTs more attractive than ever on Hathor Network is also super important. Thanks.
Yeah, I think having this functionality really, creates and will probably inspire creators to add utility and create really ambitious projects that will, warrant the use of royalties. Like, oh yeah, I need to make it in such a way that this has longevity. So really looking forward to seeing how royalties develop new creations. Thanks for that answer, Jan. So the next part was surrounding STO launch. It's a great question. And as we know, the STO launch was hugely celebrated. Like, it looked like an Apple event, to be honest with you. We were discussing this. Jan was like, he said it the other day, he was the only one in it, dressed up in his shirt, and everyone was in t-shirts. But the event looked amazing. It was sublime. The word is sublime. The question is, the STO launch was hugely celebrated, and why is it so important?
Yeah, so I mean, it's SEO. First of all, SEO means security token offering, like security. Security, it's a kind of asset that's regulated. So and basically, that's why it was so important. So it was a security, something that's regulated, that's being transacted on our network, on Hathor Network. And I mean, very few chains around the globe, support something like this, have an STO running. And that's why it was, a big celebration, because it's something unique. It's something that very few networks have. Not only that, it was the result of it just started back in October 2020. We're not the ones responsible for it. We're just the network, and we give them tech support. But we got involved in this project in October 2020, so it's over 1.5 years that it took before it was launched. And why is the case? Because it's regulated. It's approved by the Brazilian Securities Exchange Commission. Like, it's official. We had discussions with them. They asked us questions, how things worked on our network, to understand if it was viable, if it was secure enough. And after more than 1 year of this back and forth, it finally happened. And as I said, it's very unique, and it just shows how Hathor is prepared, Hathor Network is prepared to onboard very robust financial use cases. So that's why it was heavily celebrated, and they keep adding more and more security to it. So when we launched, there were two tokens that were launched. I think recently a third one was launched, and they're going to keep adding to it. And so far there hasn't been any problems, which we're very grateful for. And it's going to be a very good test, because this is part of a sandbox in Brazil. It's a very interesting initiative by the Brazilian SEC, where they are trying out new technologies. And after it's been tried, they're gonna issue regulations around it, and hopefully it's gonna be, well, so far I think with the success it's gonna be very favorable for digital assets. So we are very, very excited to be a part of this, learning experience and being part of something so unique as an STO.
By the way, I don't think you were underdressed at all. The rest of the team over here, we were in tuxedos. This is a big deal for Hathor Network,
Very good.
definitely. And in the subject of securities, a lot of people, this is not a discussion that comes out a lot, but regulation and compliance are important for the adoption of blockchain technology. So this is a huge step forward in that regard. We saw the ICO era very short-lived for the same matter, because it needed that extra component of compliance and regulation. So this is a big step forward.
It's one of the missing pieces of I'd say for adoption, right? So it's very important that we are inserted in this context.
Yeah, just to interject, you mentioned the CVM is equivalent to basically the Brazilian SEC, right? So the regulation behind this, you saying it taking a year and a half, it's been approved. Like, it's not something that's ongoing. It got regulated and it's approved and it's here. So it's really big. It's a really big milestone.
Yeah, as I said, I mean, we had some meetings with them to explain the technology, how our network works, how it's safe, because for them, safety is paramount. So yeah, it was very exciting to see this go live. Very exciting.
Speaking of more exciting things, a few of our members have already got a short glimpse of our Simplex Visa card, and many other community members are also wondering when it will become available to the global community. But a lot of people are excited for this one too. So
yeah. So are we? We're actually in final stages of testing, actually, with physical card testing. It's going to go live this quarter. Actually, I haven't received my card yet, but Neo has his already. It looks amazing, right?
I have mine now. Just as a sneak peek, but it's really good quality. The edges look like they have like a metal feel to it. It's not a metal card, but it's the coolest card in my wallet. So yeah, like content wise, let us know where we should make the first purchase. But as Jan said, things are finalizing and we're just onboarding and getting things working. But let us know where we should make the first transaction. It'll be cool. But yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it takes a while, right? So we're talking about Visa card. It's a very big financial institution. It doesn't happen overnight. So it's one of the things that you better make it right. Better make it right the first time than rushing it and then having problems later. So the onboarding with Visa, it's all handled by Simplex, which is our partner for issuing this card. They handle all of that. So there are a lot of things also they're not up just to us. And I want to give a shout out to our Turkish community. I know they're eager, they're dying to have the card there as well. I mean, talk to Simplex, show them all the requests. If it was up to us, obviously it would be there already, but it's not just up to us. But a big shout out to our Turkish community. Hopefully it's available there soon. And yeah, again, it's a card with a big brand with Visa. It just showcases kind of the reliability of the tech, and making things slowly but with good foundations.
And not only are we improving our desktop and mobile wallets for our community to interact with, we're also improving the heck out of your physical wallet with this card. So good luck.
I can't wait to use it. So yeah, we might even create a piece of content asking the community where we should spend. So it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to using it. I'm
looking forward to watching the unboxing videos.
Yeah, for sure. There'll be so many. Cool. To conclude, we're going to move on to the last question now, and this is towards the end of the report. And this mention of our new CMO, Diego. And the question is specifically, you recently mentioned a new CMO joining in the Q2 report, and what are his plans?
Yeah, sure. Diego joined us from Unilever, where he's worked for the past, I think, almost 20 years. So a lot of experience in a huge corporation, very successful corporation, very strong on the marketing side. So we were very happy when he accepted to join us. And I mean, his first task is basically to assess and review our marketing activities. That's what he's been doing for the past 2 months. I think it's been 2 months since he joined us. And I think his main task moving forward is going to be with awareness, helping Hathor become more aware globally, and also explain why your technology is different and it's better in a lot of different senses. So currently, a lot of understanding the current activities. Moving forward, bringing more awareness and showcasing our technology to all the industry, to all the players. And for more specifics, I'm sure that he's going to be joining us on future leadership forums, and people can ask him more direct questions. I'm sure they're going to like him a lot. He's very energetic. You can ask him more questions on some other occasion.
Yeah, and as a part of our comms team, we've been working super close with Diego. Definitely been able to see his vast experience in marketing. And specifically, what we've been focusing on is on designing awareness campaigns that really highlight the features that make Hathor Network different, but also so that we make sure we're attracting members of the community that are inspired by our technology and to become part of that adoption, and that really see our technology as something that they can believe in with us, and they can also build along with us. So that part is super important. Thanks for your response, and yes, for sure we will be inviting Diego here for one of our future episodes of Leadership Forum. But this is Leadership Forum, so usually we use this as well to get to know the leadership behind Hathor Network. In this case specifically, we took use of the moment just with the recent release of this report and many of the milestones that we discuss here. And a lot of people wanted to know a little bit more about many of these areas. So we did that for this one. But I am going to sneak in one last question here so that people can get to know a little bit more of Jan Martins. When Jan Martins isn't building, when he isn't busy building the tech, what is he doing?
When I'm not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
when you're not Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I have mixed opinions about that nickname, right? So a lot of people love it, other people hate it, so it's very mixed, right? I'm not sure what you guys think, but I love it. But actually, I try to do a lot of sports, being very active, to be honest. Whenever I'm off the computer, being outdoors, picked up tennis again recently. I used to play there a lot when I was younger. Now I started playing it again. So this has been a recent passion of mine. Water sports as well, big fan of it. In Portugal, we have a lot of beaches where you can do that. So, and also when I'm back in Brazil. So I'd say a lot of sports.
Hoping we can see a match between you and Diego soon, because he's also a former tennis player, I believe, or he's still playing, I believe. So that'd be great to see.
Okay. We need a challenge.
For sure.
And I'm sure the community would love to see a picture of you kite surfing as well. Well, that about wraps it up. This has been a great conversation. We covered many, many things. We had the privilege of having you here, Jan. It was super fun. And for the community to know that Leadership Forum will become a regular thing in our comms, so the community can get to know a little bit more of our leadership behind the building. And this has been great, really. Thank you guys for coming on here.
Yeah, happy to be part of this first one. Let's see how it goes moving forward. I'm excited.
Fantastic. Any words, Neil?
Yeah, I mean it's the first of many, and really excited to put more events like this on, whether it's leadership forum, whatever it may be. There's a lot in the pipeline, I'm sure, and it will be coming out to the community very soon. And I'm sure this isn't the first time we'll see, the last time we'll see Jan on leadership forum. But yeah, we should probably get Diego on soon as well. As Jan said, he's really energetic, and we've got a lot of things to communicate. So just keep your eyes peeled and see you guys on the next one.
Awesome,
Yeah.
guys. Have a great week.
Take care.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.